apparently, I'm just new to this. Uh, Get to know me is Joe Copp, shot on government. I'm not limited to just government, but really social issues. I've always said, and I've said it for many years, that in addition to reading and math and history, that people should be required in school to have maybe a couple years of social economic studies so people can understand the impact of every political decision that we make as a government, as people. And so I'm just doing this broadcast right now. I'm also going to record it, which I didn't do the first time. So it's going to be a repeat of what I broadcast just about 10 minutes ago. And thank you for the people that did tune in. I didn't realize anybody was tuning in because I didn't have my stream box up. We got Emma and Morgan, Matt, Kevin, David, Sam. Emma says it's really cool. And I'm not sure, Morgan, where you saw the post on Twitter and Facebook. I just posted something to Facebook. Um, Matt says I just followed you, and something about yesterday's show. I think I just did one today. Somebody was asking, wow, is this live? And that was David. This is awesome. How do I broadcast? Well, if I get this type of feedback, I'm going to broadcast probably some daily shows and everything. I got a lot to say. I recorded a video. I want everybody to become part of my broadcast list, or whatever number of viewers, however it goes on here, and I'll go over some of the topics I'm going to talk about. Some of the one I recorded today was oil for morons, and the reason I say oil for morons, before I hurt anybody's sensitive feelings, is really morons just people don't get it. They're just not aware, and I don't think people are aware of the impact of oil has on the United States, and has on us personally, has on our homes. So I did a little broadcast today about oil and issues I hit upon. We have over 1,000 just in the known reserves in the United States, 1,000 years worth of oil that we can utilize, and we've got plenty of time to work towards green energy, which we should. And I support all green energy. I just don't support the current presidency putting zillions of dollars into something that, even by all the professional estimates, will take 20 years before anybody actually gets all that online, especially when you consider the fact that only 2% of all that energy that's been promised, clean energy, coal, or clean coal, even if they bring that on, but clean energy, air, wind, solar, water, that's only going to produce 2% of our current consumption needs. And so I hit on that in the video. The other fact is that we should be paying $25 a barrel of oil, even when we're importing from overseas. But imagine what that would be if we were drilling our own right now. And anything over $25 a barrel, and we're talking about billions and trillions of dollars, are just going to countries that hate us, and terrorists, and terror-sponsoring nations, and things like that. And actually, more importantly, creating jobs overseas, when everybody's complaining about jobs here, because everybody know that we may only produce 16.5% of our oil in North America, but that represents 9 million jobs in the oil industry. And that means if we're importing 83.5% of our oil overseas, and how many jobs does that create? Will quadruple, as many as a total of 40 million jobs in the oil related industry from doing our own production. That would take care of a lot of unemployment, but we're talking about jobs anywhere from $25, $50, in some cases $75 an hour. They could be union or non-union jobs. Everybody could be happy on that. That would release a lot of the tension on the estimated 25, 40 million illegal aliens in the United States doing our agriculture jobs and things, quite frankly, us Americans thought were beneath us until we got into such a low unemployment. Now, people are going for any type of job. So I want you to consider that, by us buying exported oil overseas and not getting those jobs here, not only are we losing jobs, but we're losing the money. And that money's sponsoring nations and countries that hate us. Talked about the environmentalists. Environmentalists kind of really grab me. They say, well, we don't want to drill off our own shores. We don't want to drill up in Alaska. We don't want to do that stuff because we're environmentalists and we don't want to hurt our country and risk all that. The United States has got the highest level of safety procedures in the world, and we continue to be innovators in safety and making sure we do things clean. And that's one of the reasons we have high cost of production in the United States. Is we do look out to make sure we do things not only the best but the most effective. And these environmentalists, if they considered, if they really are environmentalists, then they would be more concerned about the rebels blowing up pipelines in Nigeria and Kenya and places like that, not just to be rebels, but to get some free oil and fuels and stuff they have in those countries. The oil spills nation or worldwide that are not in our waters or near our countries, and the ones in land, it's actually horrific. And so if we were not putting such a burden on those overseas countries to produce without the safety procedures and things like that, we'd actually be helping the environment by cutting down on that by us producing our own and doing it in a more safe manner. So let's think about that. 9 million, instead of 9 million jobs related to oil here in the United States, we have 40 million. Relieve our unemployment, higher paying jobs. We won't need to be taxing all the people for what we're trying to do right now in this country. It's ridiculous. But overall, oil is a big issue. I'll also have topics that are going to go into from a two-party power shift democracy we have right now to truly exploiting the power of independent thinkers, not independent party, being independent as I have been since 1996. And what I'd like to do is see more people think independently. In other words, take every politician one by one and look at them for their moral character, their the fiber, their passions and things, and really say, despite what party they are, this is what the person stands for, and make sure people start thinking consciously about how they're voting. And if they start doing that now, we can take this country back, make it better. But one of my bigger goals, in addition to having a surge in a third body, not a party, but a third body that can offset the power shifts back and forth between the Democrats and Republicans and make it more of the government of the people, is I'd love to see a dream I'd have, if not 2012, which it'll never happen too soon, the way government runs so slow, but in 2016 maybe, I would love to see an election, a universal election nationwide where anybody of blue blood or political family dynasties and things like that can't run for an office, and we actually have people of the people running and push for something like that, and starting to go back to the original Constitution and abolish all the laws at a certain point that have been made over the last couple hundred years that are overlapping and out of date, and refound what is legal, what's right, what's good, and how things should be with this new body of government of the people, and streamline all our laws and get rid of the libraries and libraries that it takes to interpret it by seas and oceans of lawyers. I'd like to see a streamlined constitutional democracy powered by the people, and overall have the ability to, if we have elected somebody to office, to not do as they say and everything, have a referendum ability to pull those people out of office immediately, just like they'd be fired if they were in the private industry. And that can be done today. If you can get cash anywhere, you should be able to vote on something anywhere and have a recall on somebody within 60 days, get people voted out, hold people accountable. We can't do that in our government right now. We elect a lopsided government a couple years ago, and they push things through, and made things even worse. Now we got a little bit of balance, but still not quite balanced. And some of the fighting we see now uh, is what we really should have, but it's still squabbling over some of the same issues, and almost impossible to reverse laws that have taken in effect. Um, so I got a lot of issues about that. Um, I'm pretty much a firebrand when it comes to talking to people and debating the issues. Most people see me as conservative or um, economic issues and things like that, and environment and whatnot. I have a wide range of issues. I'm going to uh, give credit where credit is due. I'll give you the case of an example. I think Obama is one of the premier speakers I've ever seen, ever. But I don't agree with his politics. I'm suspect of his agendas and what he really stands for. More of a mirage than a leader, um, because everything seems kind of cloak and dagger to me. Contrast that with Bush, which I actually voted for despite being an independent since 1996. Um, Voted for him his first term, second term, did it again within the last 2 years of his administration. I had a lot of problems. One of the largest problems I had was his amnesty for the illegal aliens, which I support. Having illegal workers or legal workers here, not illegal. Support their work. Some of the best roofers, agricultural workers, textile industry workers. They'll do work for us in the United States, and we do need those type of people here. We just need them to pay their fair share of taxes and not be a drain on the medical system at the emergency rooms where they represent like as much as 50% of all the unpaid emergency room visits. Quite frankly, that's how they get their free medical care. So I want to be politically neutral, but you'll see bents in me where it's more from a conservative point of view. But I will call out any politician or anybody who wishes to enter into dialogue or debate with me if your idea has no merit. I don't like and I don't have any patience for people that spout out opinions and everything based off of what a friend or a social group they hang around with believes in, if they haven't done any of the fact finding or at least attempted to understand why things work, which is why I believe everybody should have a couple years of social economic studies within the classroom, just like math, reading, history, so they can understand the impacts of our decisions in America, the decisions of people we elect. And I'm just so sick of the fighting and the name calling and calling the conservatives or the Tea Party's racist, and everybody else calling the liberals, they're unpatriotic or whatever. My oldest brother's a liberal. I've got several people in the in-laws of families that are liberal, and I love them all dearly. Uh, I'm more conservative in a lot of respects, but I actually work in a field where I'm an innovator in liberal things, which is the education and motivation of individuals and people, and I give that out free and forever at my hueyme.com website. And on the business end, I deliver tools and training that can help people or companies get the best out of their workers by putting them on the same playing field or across the table and be able to talk as equals and increase their communication, making them more effective, and as far as workers and as a company as a whole, and basically treating people the way people should be treated and the way they should be treating each other. So, this is Joe Copp, Shots on Government, and I wish everybody love, respect, peace, and prayer. Good night.